Welcome to Mount Van Hovenberg, Lake Placid, New York, to the Olympic Sports Complex for the second stop on the IBS BMW World Cup Tour. Hello, everybody. I'm John Morgan, joined by former U.S. Olympic team member Greg West. We're here for the second stop on the World Cup. The first stop was scheduled for Park City. They had some problems with the refrigeration track. They moved the event to Lake Placid last weekend. This is the second week in a row we're on the track. Last week we saw track records, Greg. Weather outside, a little windy, but I think the ice looks pretty good here.
So the weather outside is not frightful, but the track is fast. John Napier has done an excellent job getting this surface ready for the second week in a row. We've seen the track record fall numerous times during practice, but we've seen some interesting problem areas on the track as we're seeing right now. Exit turn 1 is usually a gimme on this track, and it has everybody with question marks over their head. We're seeing the athlete go through turn 3, dropping into what is known as the Devil's Highway in Lake Placid. Drop a couple of stories there in turn 4, and then you feel like you're in a washing machine through 5, 6, and 7 as they smack your face on the exit of 7 and prepare for Big Shady 2, the signature corner here on the Mount Van Hovenberg track. You come out of here and feel that big push, and now we're really starting to build some speed. Turn 12, that'll be a problem area. We'll see some action there. Into Benham's Bend, turn 14, into the not-so-straight straightaway known as the chicane. We'll see 1, 2, or maybe even 3 taps going through there. And then into turn 18 and uphill 19 through the finish. Skeleton on the Mount Van Hovenberg track only uses the first 19 corners, where Bobsleigh's finish line will be on the exit of turn 20.
Well, I said there was track records last week. They got close to the track records, only a few hundredths off. They got track records in luge the previous weekend. But the conditions here, last week it was a little sticky up top at the start. I think we got some perfect ice. There's our World Cup standing. Jacqueline Lolling won last week in a close match with Jeanine Flies. Tina Herman, Mimi Ravina from Canada slipped out of the medals. We could see a rebound from her today. Anybody else you like in the field, Greg?
I think if I had to pick a favorite that I was putting money on right now, I think the German contingent is incredibly strong. Jacqueline Lolling was breaking the track record at will during the week, so I think that's where the money is. Looking at the ice conditions, the air temp right now, it is a blustery minus 2.2 degrees outside Celsius, so you're looking at about 28 degrees Fahrenheit there. The ice, if negative 5.3 degrees, that is in this sweet spot for Lake Placid. Not too cold to be sticky, but not too warm to be frosting up, and that means big speed. We're looking forward to some fast times today.
Marina Gilardoni, she'll go 4th. There's looks like Tina Herman. Tina will go later. She'll go 11th in the field, and here's our start list. We lost all the snow. Monday had some rain here. How much of an advantage is the to go off first?
Well, I think the Brits have an interesting draw going 1-2. Kim and Madeleine both looking for some revenge after last week. So they definitely do have an advantage there with the fresh ice. We'll see Megan Henry. We're going to have a big start time in that 15 spot. Savannah Agreeable, the American. Kimberly Boss at the 19 spot is actually not sliding today. Had to pull out with a hamstring injury. Kim, if you're listening, hope you feel better.
Well, our first rabbit down the track, Kimberly Murray from Great Britain. She finished 22nd in last weekend's race, and looking to improve upon that. New slider, and you've seen her slide. What do you think of her as a...
Kim is a little bit raw, but she has when she puts down a burner, she can really light it off. She's a long athlete, very aerodynamic. 540 start, hung it up on the exit of turn 5 a little bit. That's going to cost her some time as she goes through the Devil's Highway. We'll see what she can do here in the chicane. Gets a good entrance. That low line in chicane. Usually you want to see him go over the Lake Placid. She went underneath it. 1:10.3 on the exit, though, is pretty middle of the road speed. Again,
the track record is 54.69. She gets in a high 55, I think will tell us the record's got a chance of going down.
She's 1:14 through the chicane, a little down on what the
56.19. So maybe, that's almost 1 3/4 seconds off the record. But if you look at last week's times, that's about where she finished.
Yeah, I think she may struggle to make the top 20 with that. She doesn't look overly excited with it. A couple of mistakes in there. If you don't have the best shady and you don't have the best chicane on top of on top of a rough exit of turn 1. You can see right here, she comes out of the groove. It already has a skid, and that just really hurts your velocity. Coming into the chicane on the wrong side of the track, she's going to tap on the slider's right side, kicks her over to the left, and you see her break that aerodynamic form. I'm sure Kim would like to have some of those parts of that run back.
Okay.
Well, next athlete, another British competitor, Madeleine Smith, 100-meter sprint hurdler. She's from Bath.
She made sure to tell me to say nice things.
Well, she was in 19th place in last week's event, and you know, she's got a little bit more of experience than her teammate who just came down.
Competed in World Championships last year for Great Britain. You know, a couple weeks on this track, a little skid coming out of the grooves of 5.38, so she's a couple hundreds faster than her teammate on the start and handles the exit of turn 1 well.
Good lines there coming out of 2 to 3. She's going to tap the right-hand wall. That's the norm. And we always like to say, watch the feet. I mean, you know, if you have confidence, you just keep that bullet form together.
She's pulling away a little bit, up 13 hundredths of a second. She had a little bit better highway and nice smooth lines going into Shady. We'll see what she does right over that Lake Placid. Keep that in mind. A nice exit, 1:10.8, so she's up a little bit on speed on her teammate. You'll see her start to pull away a little bit more as she goes through 14.
And chicane coming at us. A little bit of a drift, 3/10 up, 115 kilometers speed. That's pretty good speed. 71.9 miles an hour.
She will be comfortably in the lead here. Comes across 55.68, so a half second on her teammate.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a...
So that tells me we could get near that track record. Look at her 10, she's actually 1 second, 99 hundredths off the track record. I don't know.
I think it's still a chance. I think she left a little bit in the tank there. You see her slip a little bit on that second step.
100-meter sprinter. Boy, she's got the long arms and pull like a sprinter there. The toe out up top, though, that's got to be a mistake. And then here.
Yeah, she had the line and actually drove herself into the left wall. If she would have trusted it, she'd been right down Broadway. But these are really nitpicky things. It's a pretty good run from Madeleine Smith.
Pretty easy for us to sit up here.
It's a little warmer in here than out there.
Yeah, they're going 75, 78 miles an hour. Our next up, Yulia Kanakina, 16th in last week's event. Very disappointing. She was there at the Shady in both runs and just couldn't hold it on the bottom. 7th at last year's World Championships. This is one of the better starters in the field.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see her put something here in the low 20s or even the 5 teens.
Ooh,
big skid again.
Down. Look at that start, though.
5.19. Big start. She hangs it up on the exit of turn 1, has a lot of body action, but she manages to keep the sled going straight, and that's what matters.
So 19 should turn into 35 or so here on the Lake Placid track. And there's 26. She should have been out farther than that. And at Shady is where things just start to, it's like she's got a parachute on.
We'll see what the speed check is here on the exit of Shady,
Losing
right over
time.
Lake Placid. Up a quarter second. Check the speed. She's down. 109.8, the slowest speed we've seen so far. So both of the British girls were faster than her. We'll get the speed check here going through the chicane. She's going to need to shoot it. 114.1. So
not going to be the leader.
She's going to be down on speed.
Probably going to be second. Looks like, no, they're saying first. It's down to 200s. Right to the 100th of a second. There it is, 200. She lost 4 in the last 100 meters. But the diminutive slider, Kanakina, great start, probably have one of the top 3 starts in the field. Didn't have that confidence coming out of the block. I kind of think that there's a start groove issue up there. We've seen all 3 athletes come out of there and immediately have to put their toes out to make an adjustment.
Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of leg action. We'll see here on the exit of turn 3. I'm glad we're looking at this. I think this is where it went away. She taps that left wall, and usually the slider bounces back, but she sticks it there and goes dead late into turn 4.
High on 14.
Yeah, real high line 14. She's using that toe counter. Good aerodynamic form. She does trust it. I think that's the line Madeleine Smith was looking for. She just executed a little bit better, but down 200, sitting in second.
Marina Gilardoni is our next athlete, the former bobsledder who's won medals in women's bobsled, won medals in skeleton, 6th at the last year's World Championships, 9th in this event last weekend. Another groove issue. Start, you know, That's the start time of the leader she's challenging.
That's the start time we're used to seeing Marina have at 5:20s.
She's been injured most of the last 2 years.
Yeah, the back injuries take forever to heal. She told me this week she's starting to make friends with the Lake Placid track. So after 6 or 7 years after she switched over from bobsled, it's about time.
About time. Good lines.
See your checkpoint through Shady, right over the Lake Placid. On the exit, check the speed, 110.2, so kind of middle of the road speed so
but
far.
She was 500s before Shady, 500s after Shady. Now in the red numbers. Needs to be clean here. And not bad, the speed.
115.2, so that's good speed. It's going to be really close at the line. She's down right now. She needs a good 19.
Looks like third. She's going to be like 9 or 10 hundredths unless she finds some kind of fast line. There's the 9. So Marina Giordoni, hey, how about our leader right now, Madeleine Smith? Madeleine finished behind both of these athletes last week's competition, so she's already looking to move up the ladder right there.
Really tight though, the first 3 sleds within 9/100ths of a second after a mile of ice, setting up already for a good second heat. We're watching her on the start here.
Powerful start.
She's going to be happy with that 5:28, but she's not going to be happy with that having to use the toe on the exit of the groove.
Well, you think the coaches, oh, this is too low here at 14. You know, she should be up higher. Look at her, see her come off then. She got late on 14. That caused her to come off the exit late, but she corrected pretty well here.
Yeah, I think it ended up working clean, but she probably missed the push on the exit of 14.
Okay, our first real formidable competitor, Jeanine Flies from Austria, silver medalist in this event last week, 9th at the World Championships last year in Whistler. Very disappointing for her.
Track record holder though.
Here, yes.
Yep. So we'll see what this will be an interesting test. We'll see what she can do here. It all starts on the start ramp. Now Jeanine has more experience than pretty much anybody in the field. How does she handle the groove? Right down the pipe. 5.46, a little bit back on the leader right now, 800ths of a second behind.
But this is a glider. This is a professional speed merchant. We saw that last weekend. Tap. In fact, if it wasn't for her, there would have been a German sweep.
She's riding a sled that her partner, Matthias Guggenberg, who's now the Latvian driving coach, he actually built this sled. I believe he slid on it for a while. The engineer throwing his hat into the ring.
Yeah, she's got 1500s, notch 10. Look at the speed.
Bad exit of Shady, 110.8, but she hit the wall, so that's going to scrub, letting it fly on the exit of 10. She needs 115 high speed to have a chance here. 116.
Speed merchant. Here she comes. Look at the form, like a bullet. Bottom part of the track, it's red numbers. Could be green. Yes, there it is. This could be the leader, but not by very much. 55-54. This track is a half second slower than it was last week at this time. She was into the high 54s in her first run last week.
I think that she left maybe 4/10 on the table though. That exit of Shady is not.
Yeah, to be only last week she beat Madeleine Smith by a lot. This week she's only beating her by 1400. So I don't say that's a great run for one of the favorites in the competition.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to win it. You see her exit turn 1 right here. It gets planted on that left wall, and she has a small little skid working really hard in the flat, and that's just energy loss. Exited Shady. You see her come out and hit that left wall. That is energy and time loss that you can't get back. You see her coming through the chicane here out of 14. She trusts it, keeps her feet together, and that's what allowed her to pull it back.
Here's our Jeanine Flies in the lead. But a lot of top competitors to go, including Elena Nicotina, the track record holder at the start, 5:03.
Oh, she slipped. She slipped.
She's probably going to be at the teens then if she slipped like that.
We'll see here, 5:07.
Well,
okay.
That's the norm. So that slip might have cost her the track record. But she also had problems down below.
Yeah, she had a rough 17 in the first run last week. Hangs it up on the exit of 3, but she recovers well. A lot of energy lost there, though.
5th last week.
7100s in the bag right now.
She did that last week too. Then she threw it all the way in the bottom. So if this 71 gets down to 40, the exit of Chrysler knows she's pulling away.
Dead late in the Shady though. We'll check the speed. 112, so she's got the fastest speed of the day through Shady. Good exit at turn 12. She's historically had some trouble there if she has a good chicane.
This is where her problems are.
116.8,
but there's
fastest
no problems
speed.
today. This is track record speed. If she stays at 80 to 80 I think she breaks the track record.
Definitely
check it out.
Leader.
78, 76. She misses it by 700ths. Whoa.
So
Close.
The track definitely has it in it.
Yeah. Well,
The 507 helps.
Listen, Alina Nicotina was awesome. Tells you how bad a heat Jeanine Flies had. So last week's silver medalist, I think, she's in trouble for being on the podium here. This was a much better run for Nicotina, who was 5th in last week's event, but she's had such a domination at the start.
Look at the slip here. Front step. She stumbles. Wow. It takes her a couple steps to get it back.
What an athlete not to interfere with it. That's still the best start in the competition. Here, though.
Comes out, taps that right wall. Doesn't freak out about it, though. She does have it. I guess she does a little bit. Yeah, she skids. So she had more. That cost her 1000s right there.
Always animated. Okay. Well, here comes another glider. And the first at Tovia. She's changed the name when she went from Germany to slide for the Czech Republic. That was her grandmother's name. And Anna doesn't get the very good starts, but clean
speed.
But she's a speed queen. She knows how to, get the top speeds in the bottom part of the track. 4th at last year's World Championships.
6th at the Olympics, so she definitely has a pedigree to knows how to get down the track fast. Nice exit of turn 4.
She's 5400s back at the top. Now it's 8800s. She needs to stop the bleeding right now. So she keeps that about 90. She'll start to eat into that and maybe move into a top 3 spot. 90, she sort of stopped the bleeding. Now here's what she does best.
It's at 7, pretty good speed.
Perfect.
Smooth through the exit at 12. She needs a good chicane to pull it back a little bit. On the exit, she doesn't take the tap. 116.
Good top 3 speed.
She'll pull it back a little bit here.
6th, 5th. She could get in the top 4. Head down at the finish, 6th. So maybe not so good a run for Anna.
Now there's a couple little things there. I thought that she would have a little bit more speed. There were some places that she struggled with this week that she put together.
The start was the 7th of 7 sleds, 61. She started 5400s back. So the first curve is, when you have a slow start, you can't make any mistakes.
We'll see her here. She gets knocked away a little bit. How does she handle the exit?
Late.
Hung it up a bit, but just a small toe. But I don't think she actually broke it sideways. We'll see her exit of 14. She's got it. And I thought she was going to hit the wall, but I think she just kind of rode the curvature there. But definitely a little bit left in the take for Anna. She doesn't look super stoked with that run.
Track is clear to start 1.
Okay, next up from Belgium, Kim Meilmans, 8th last week. 20th at the World Championships last year, a disaster, but this is a good slider. She's always 8th, 9th, 10th. She's a very consistent slider.
Has a little trouble with the groove also. 5.35, 4th fastest start of the day. Hangs it up on the exit of turn 1, but handles it fairly well. We'll see how she handles 3. Takes the tap. Nice entrance into the highway. Now this will give her an opportunity to build some speed if she can just keep it going forward here. She's 6400s back, going through the Devil's Highway a little late on the exit of turn 6. A small little flop out. We'll get a speed check on the exit of Shady and check her line. Nice line, cutting through the letters. Good snap off. You're going to see some speed.
10.3, decent speed. She's on a Schneider sled. Now she needs the feet together. The bullet form on the bottom. The head is down.
Big speed.
116.9. That's the best speed of anybody. She's in 5th. She could get this up to 4th or 3rd. Perfect. Second!
Wow.
That's what big speed will do right there.
Former U.S. slider Kyle Tress helping out with the Belgian this week.
Yeah, when you saw the big speed come up, the 116.9 kilometers on the bottom, the perfect line we saw on the chicane, and the 72.6 miles an hour, that's why she took over the lead, or got the second. Well, she got beat at the start by 2800s. What a lead that Nicotina has, right?
Yeah, 507 and a good run. It's going to be hard to chase down. We see exit turn 6.
Look at her head down.
She's not, she's buried. She flopped out of the corner, but she kept her aerodynamic form, and this is what Kim's known for. Kim has probably the lowest head position of anybody in the field.
That's flying blind. There's nobody's had the head down like that in the whole track.
I'm sure wind tunnels love her.
Yeah, that's the way to do it right there. Okay, we have another British slider, Laura Dees, the equestrian rider, 10th last week at the
10th last week at this race. We'll see what Laura does here. On the start ramp, well, if she can come out of the groove straight, she's usually a really strong starter. 5.32, good start for Laura. See how she manages the exit at turn 1 like it wasn't even a problem. You wouldn't know that people struggled there all week long. We'll check her split here. A little trouble on going in a little bit late to 4. She's gonna have to work hard to get the line. She got it back, but she's 54 hundredths back. She drops the Devil's Highway, so she has her work cut out for her.
Well, she's got it. It's late there. That's a little wild ride. That's the wildest line. 6600s, 4th. Just like her start, but now that's trouble.
Big hit. This is going to bleed her speed even more. She's 109.7, but she's not anymore. We'll check her speed on the exit of 14. Slowest speed we have seen, 113.6. You can just see the sleds almost just has no energy in it right now at all. That hit out of Shady is a big time hit.
We won't see too many people hit that hard out of Shady. 9th best run for the Olympic bronze medalist. I don't think that's a run she wants to put in the computer, unless she wants to look at mistakes, because you won't see an experienced slider make a hit like that on the exit of Shady too often.
She's going to have trouble making the top 20 with that one.
10th last week. Didn't compete at the World last year because she had some concussion injuries. Or I don't know if I can say concussion. She didn't compete at the Worlds. This isn't too bad. A hit.
But
no,
then she sticks it on the wall.
Yeah, that's the wrong side of the take-on to come into.
So where everything went wrong. You see her fly off the end of 8. That was because of the tap out of 3 and how she was laid into 4.
Maybe her runner set up here, because she's pretty wild all the way down the track.
I think she just messed up going into 4 and never got it back online. She doesn't have that local knowledge here to know where to fix it. Because it wasn't like she was sideways. She just was going the wrong way.
She's at 9th out of 9 sleds for the Olympic bronze medalist. Well, next up is a Canadian, Mimi Ravina. She's from Ottawa, and last weekend she was in the medals, couldn't bring it home, finished 4th. Pretty talented slider.
She learned to slide on this Lake Placid track, took her first skeleton school here, 5:28, strong start.
Always 4th in this event last year, 4th in this event last weekend.
Had a really good week of training, a lot of really fast times. We'll see what she can do here. A great exit at turn 4, managing 5. And this is the highway, which she's in right now, 4, 5, 6, is where you really build your speed and set the tone for the rest of the run.
Look at the feet there. She's only 4100s back, 110.6 speed, 111.3. This is the second best time. That's the best speed of the exit of Shady. This could be a good run.
See 117 in the chicane, 116.8, a little bit of a skid. She's gonna have to handle it. She's gonna make a run here for the top 3 though.
This is what she did last week. She put herself in medal position in the first run. Bullet form.
Gonna be second.
Crossed the finish line, second. 5300s back. EB, Eric Bernaudis looks on, the former U.S. World Cup winner, coaching the British the last number of years, now coaching Canadians. But Mimi last week was right there for a medal, finished 4th. Last year right there for a medal, finished 4th. Maybe today's the day she finally gets on the podium here on her track in North America.
I would say that was probably the best overall run that we've seen so far. She doesn't have the huge start that the Russian had. We see her in the exit at turn 3 here, takes the tap, puts it right down the middle. You can't ask for more.
Head down.
Head down. She comes and clips the wall just a little bit here. A little skid going into 17, but all in all, you got to be pretty happy sitting second after 10 sleds.
Yeah, she's got to go in and get weighed. I think the best run we've seen of the day is Kim Meilman's with the start deficiency. She's in 3rd. Nicotina's start times puts her on another planet. But now we go to the 11th person off the hill, the 3rd place finisher in last week's event, Tina Hermann. She won the World Championships last year, her 2nd World Championships for this young athlete from Germany. Oh, big steer there. 3400s off the pace.
9th fastest start, 5:41 for Tina, but she's not known for her work on the start ramp. She's known for her work down the track. The Germans have had great speed here for the last 2 weeks. She's a little late in turn 4 though, so she's gonna have to do a little bit of work in the highway. 70 back as she drops into turn 5.
Third in this event last week. It was close after the first run, but Loling just made a joke of it in the second run. She's coming up in a couple sleds.
110.7, so middle of the pack speed, pretty decent skid on the exit of turn
She's
12.
only 9th at the moment.
1:16.8 though.
That's
Huge
great speed. She should, now it's 7. She could get in the top 4 with that type of speed. There are fast lines on the bottom part of the track. The uphill section right here. She hits before that. It's not good. 5th. You can't do any mistakes in that uphill section. Even though it's about 100 meters to that start line, finish line, you do a mistake going uphill, that's not good for your gravity.
TV does not do justice how steep
that
uphill
is,
19 is.
Yeah, yeah. So
Cannot-
Keenar, 5th, that's not the same position she was in last week. Look, she's frustrated. She shows her run right in her face. Look at
Team Canada sitting in 2nd.
frustrated.
Definitely not happy. We're looking here. She exit turn 12. She has the line and puts herself into a skid. Actually clips the wall with her feet. Exit turn 14. Little toe action. She sneaks it through. Good form. And then here on the exit of turn 19, coming to the finish line, just clips that inside wall just a bit, and that does not help your cause. Less than optimal, I think, is the way you could describe that run. Now the American, Kendall Westenberg, 6th last week, or 7th, 6th?
6th last
Sixth
week.
last week.
But she medaled. She been a bronze medal in this event last year in February.
Another athlete that had a good week of training, also comes out of the groove straight. 5:52, 11th fastest start, so she got her work cut out for her, but she has the local knowledge here. She qualified last year as USA 1, got to do some preseason testing while her teammates were having to duke it out in team trials.
California girl.
7/10 back as she goes through the highway. We'll check her speed here as she gets ready to go into shading. Watch her line. Good entrance, crossing up into it right underneath the letters.
111 she needs. 111.9.
Good speed from
Awesome.
Westenberg.
Only Nicotina was better, so she's got it down to 8th.
A little early into 14, handles it well. Oh, clips the wall a bit, but 117.3.
Best speed we've seen. She should get it in the top 4 at least. Perfect line here in the uphill section.
3rd, can she climb 2nd?
3rd, just like she did last year. Good run.
Westenberg representing Team USA threw down in the
Kendall
third.
Westenberg from the United States puts herself in medal contention with that run. I think that's going to keep her at least in the top 4, 5. I think she's going to be no worse than top 5 going into the 2nd run.
We'll see her exit turn 12, hangs it up just a little
late
bit.
there, huh? But she nice exit.
Yep. See her coming through turn 14 into the chicane. She almost has it and then just clips. It's so frustrating when you think you have it and that little elbow just sticks out and says, nah.
75 miles an hour. Good run for Kendall. Okay, well, here's the lady who everybody has been chasing, Jeanine Flies. She's got numerous world championships, Olympic medal.
Speed queen.
Yeah, she's first last week. Don't watch the start. Don't watch the start. Now, they changed the rules for women's skeleton about weight, so she had to lose a little bit of weight, and the smaller girls had to gain a little weight. They put the weight in the sleds, right?
Yeah, there's different athletes had different strategies, but the big thing this year, it's real easy. Women can be up to 102 kilos combined weights, similar as bobsled. There's just one number, and you don't have to do arithmetic or get the abacus out to figure out how heavy you can be going down the hill.
About 4,100s back. That's going to get to 6,000s probably at the next clock, because that's the start.
Good
Velocity.
exit, turn 4.
There's 68, so she'll stop the bleeding at the next clock. That'll be probably around 68, and then she'll manufacture some kind of speed in the bottom and probably get in the medal position. Oh, 70, still bleeding. 112.
Oh,
1.
huge speed.
Here she comes. This is what this athlete does. She gets a bad start. Look at her form. 162, 118. Nobody's been on that number. She's in 3rd, flying. She just propels into the finish area. Wow. Second, 4,700s back. Now the coaches look on. Did Nicotina have that good a run?
Nicotina had that good a start. She went 5:07 versus Lowling's 5:48, so she left.
Well, last week in the first heat, Jeanine Flies at 54.79. Today she's got a 55.23.
Last week she was perfectly clean through the chicane, though. This week she hit twice, and that's a couple tenths on a skeleton sled. You see her exit turn 3, takes the tap, brings it right back to the middle. can't ask for more than that, but here's where her opportunity to take the lead went away. Tap on the left, tap on the right, and then late into 17, so you have that energy going up instead of forward.
Well, she's in second, 11th best start. Okay, we go on. From the United, no, this is Jane Chanel from Canada, Vancouver, West Vancouver lady. Usually gets good starts. 11th last weekend. I didn't see her with great starts last weekend. This is a lady who was 4th place in the World Championships in Winterberg in 2015, and I said, wow, this third best start as soon as I say that.
Yeah, 5:22. Jane can get after it. The Canadian girls all have good push. You know, having that start house in Calgary helps their cause on that. They can train year round. We'll see how she does down the track here with that 5:22. She's currently in 3rd place as she goes through the highway, 3,800 back.
Good form so far. Their feet are together, confident. She started off 3rd, she's 4th. Speed, gonna need 111 mid-change, 109. Speed is way back.
Good lines here. I don't know if maybe this is a...
Well, safe line might not be the fastest, but this isn't bad. 8,200, she's slipped to 8th. Speed is way back. 4 kilometers down to Lowling alone. This looks like 11th or 12th, pretty much what she did last weekend.
12. Yeah. 55.95. So she's ahead of the 2 British girls.
Well, she finished 11th last weekend, and you know, thought she'd be doing better than that. She finished 10th in this event last February. So pretty much what she does on the track, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And with that start, that 3rd best start, I mean, this is one of the better athletes in the field.
New coach this year, Eric Renotis, multiple-time World Cup medalist for the U.S. in skeleton in his 10-year career. We see her coming through turn 14 and the chicane, the classic chicane double tap. Sliders right, sliders left, and then late into 17. And it's just such a helpless feeling there because you know you just left 2/10 sitting there. Jane looks a little frustrated.
Next up, American Megan Henry, our U.S. Army representative. Lives in Roxbury, Connecticut. She's a little bit of a pocket rocket, huh?
Yeah, we'll see a big start here. We can see mid-teens from her. She's been training very well. What Megan has done this year, she's shown up not just with the push, though, with the drive. 5.33, though, a little bit back on the start.
And the toe came out, and she came out of the start grooves. She's built a little bit like Nicotina, a little bit like Julia. She's they're smaller, one of the smaller athletes in the field.
She may have picked the wrong runner. She is loose as all get out right now. We see the back end washing around, energy going a lot of places but forward. We'll check her speed on the exit is shady though. It's a nice line through the middle. She snaps it off well. 109.2 though, so she's back on speed. She's gonna need a really good bottom half of the track to climb back into it. She's in 15th right now, so she's still falling.
Speed, not bad, not great, but she's 15th last week, or 12th in this event last weekend. I don't know if she's going to get top 12 right now.
Back up to 13th and 13th.
Yeah, pretty much the norm.
Well, I can say this. We were wrong. Maybe I was wrong. I walked in here today and said track record's fallen by 2/10 after looking at the ice this morning, and I got tricked. Not quite there. How many sleds went down over the last 2 days? A couple hundred?
Well, you got a 4-mans all week, too.
Yeah.
4-man sleds have a little bit of pressure on the ice.
Turn 3, look at the back of the sled wash out.
Yeah.
That is a runner selection
and a wrong
error.
straightaway. She should be on the left side of that straightaway.
Yep.
And here, it's so easy for us to critique these athletes coming down this track at 70+ miles an hour with their chin inches off the ice.
And she says hi to us here in the box. She's like, please be nice.
Hey, Alina, Nicotina, Lowling, Ravina. 5 different nations in the top 5. That's what we like to see in skeleton. Now from Australia, Jacqueline Narcott, 13 in last week's event. Jacqueline recently married to Don Parsons.
She had a nice summer. I know a couple of the Skelly girls went down there, including Savannah Graybill, to
all the way to Australia?
Destination wedding in Australia.
I'm surprised they didn't come. They came back. They might ever want to leave. Manly Beach.
Jackie's had some success on this Lake Placid track. I think she had a 4th a couple years ago. She's spent a lot of time here. Another slider that learned to slide here years ago. Her first skeleton school was here. We'll check her line and their speed. She's back 8/10 as she goes through Shady. She needs 112, 110.3, so she's not gonna climb up into the medals.
12.
Do another speed check here in 14. She's gonna tap on the right and the left.
Speed's not bad.
162.
That's pretty good. 12th. She's just like she was last week, pretty much chalk. In the uphill section right here, you got to be right in the middle. 11th. So she improved by 1. Eric Bernatis likes it. He's also coaching the Australian athlete. Jacqueline with the green and gold colors.
A couple small little mistakes in there. We've seen it from a lot of the girls. I don't know if this track, the shape of the ice has been tricky this year, which is it makes it difficult. So your exit turn 3 really high on the exit,
late,
big hit.
Late.
Picks the one runner off the ice.
Toes out.
Then coming through turn 14, Benham's bend hits her sliders right, comes over there, and sliders left. That does not feel good. That's like a belt sander on your arm. That look says it all. Next up we have Sophie Agreeable, another German, 3rd German.
She's not very happy where she finished last week in 14th place, especially with her German teammates being up there in the medals. She's been in the 3rd position. She's police officer from Seoul, the old East German Training Center. Started the sport luge. She's got an FES sled.
Oh, bad entrance into turn 1. We're going to see a big loop, 536, but her speed will be down because she had that big skid going into turn 1.
10th, 9th best speed, but boy, the next clock.
It'll be interesting to see what the gap is to Nicotina.
She's fallen to 13th already. She's going to be disappointed no matter what. Good bullet form now. She's recovered, but you can't gain that time. I mean, in these gravity sports, you can only prevent yourself from losing time on the way down, giving all the Mother Nature gravity that you're given and your start time and your abilities. She lost a lot of time up top.
Good line through the chicane, 113.9 though. She's
Speed.
way back on speed.
Way back. She's 17th. I think she's going to qualify for the top 20, but she is going to be an angry slider at the bottom part of the track. 16th.
Not the run she was looking for. I don't know if that was a...
And, you know, she's fighting for one of those spots in the World Championships in Altenburg later in February this year, the 2020 World Championships, and the Germans have their championships between Christmas and New Year's. I think only one. I think Lohling is the only one that's qualified, and they're going to pick 2 other sliders from that competition. And you know there's 4 or 5 more sliders back there.
I mean, in Germany, they don't rebuild, they reload. They've got a bunch of people.
They don't rebuild, they reload. I think I'll use that forever. But
you see her coming out of the grooves here, and it just kicks to sliders right.
Yeah,
She got
that
the toe
groove's
down.
a problem. That groove's, then she gets real pressure on the take on to 1. She had no chance after that. This isn't bad lines, but look, she's turning to get over under the take on out of the chicane, and you can only imagine how angry she is with her run. Savannah Graybill, the United States.
Former track record holders till Jeanine took it away. That was nice. Let's see what Savannah can do here. She's really worked to improve her start this summer, working with her strength coach, Brett. Former U.S. slider himself.
American University girl. Didn't she go to school with Megan?
Yeah, her and Megan played field hockey together. Nice exit of turn 1. She's been struggling there this week. Now, Savannah, not known for her speed on the start ramp, but what this girl can do is
she's a glider
down the hill. So
glider. She's got a GoFundMe page. She's not paid for to go to Europe, so she's trying to raise money so she can be the U.S. 3rd sled over there. She wants to donate to an athlete very worthy of the cause. Ooh, a little tap there.
110.8, middle of the road speed. Currently sitting in 18th now. She needs to really get it going here in the chicane to climb back
head
up.
Down, pretty confident, 116 speed.
That's going to help her do that. Up to 14th and 1 split with that chicane and that arrow.
Could get the top 11, 12, perfect liner. Oh, she taps. That cost her 13. So she was 15th last week, 13th there. That tap at the bottom, if you look, she's only 500s, 800s. That tap was worth 5 or 800. She could have been up in the top 11 without that tap on the uphill section. That's a no-no.
Yeah, you look at her splits, 17, 18, 14, 14, 13.
Yeah.
So she was cutting the field down all the way and just ran out of track.
Our next athlete scratched, Kimberly Boss from the Netherlands. Will not start. You know her why? Hamstring?
I think she's got a hamstring injury. I think she's listening at home and by at home in her hotel room here in Lake Placid.
We saw her at the dinner last night.
Savannah
Here's
coming
the mistake.
uphill.
Look at her head down. That is a no-no. That's so steep. As you said, TV doesn't do it justice going uphill.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Denver, Pennsylvania.
Oh, she'll be so happy you said Pennsylvania.
I know. Okay, now another interesting slider at the top. You might know a little bit about Leslie Stratton.
Know nothing of this girl.
Okay.
Nothing at all about her.
But, you know, she's got parents. She was born. Give the rep. Parents were born in Sweden.
Her mother's Swedish and immigrated over here. And Leslie has been playing softball for the Swedish national team for the last I don't know how many years, and made the switch to switch from the Americans over to the Swedish program. So she was under one nation. So it's pretty cool. Both the parents are up here. Coached by Jeff Payne, 2006 silver medalist. Rough exit of turn 2.
Okay, 3. And she's got the 18th best start. Which
She's going to need to do some work here in the highway. Now she's had some success this week. Had some good ones. Had some that were less than optimal. She
slipped at 19. She finished 18th in last week's event.
108.3 though. She's down on speed as she goes through the middle of the track here. But she's a small athlete with good aerodynamic form. She needs that here in 14.
That's nice. 113.4, not the best speed. She's got it. She looks like she's going to be 19. Maybe not. Maybe she'll get up one with an exit here. Does he tap? No. 19. 235 off the pace. So right about where she was in the first heat last week. I think that's going to probably give her a chance to get in the top 20.
It'll be close. 57.11. I don't think she's going to be super happy with that down time.
Yeah, 5 sleds to come.
But her second World Cup race, her and Anna Fernstad have teamed up with Jeff, and they have a lot of fun. We see her here exit, turn 3, comes
Bang.
over.
She just drove herself into the wall there.
Yeah, and then she clips the right wall going into turn 4. We see her exit 14. She massacred herself here during training, so this is nice to see her go down Broadway.
Clean. It's clean as anybody right there.
Yep.
And then the heart curve, a little high, comes down a little bit, but not bad for our Swedish athletes.
Always
She's
has
in
a smile
19.
on her face, that's for sure.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Lupa. I like your sweater.
So 19 sleds down. Alina Nicotina way up in front. I have almost a half-second lead over the German Lolling and then the Canadian Reneva.
So now we have Madison Charney from Canada. She was in 20th place last week's event, 17th place at the World Championships on her home track in Whistler last year.
5:42 start time. Has a lot of experience here. Maddie's been here a bunch. Little skid on the exit of turn 3, but handles the entrance into turn 4 well. 6400's back as she drops into the highway.
So 20th last weekend, but she was 16th in this event last February. So, you know, you would expect her to improve today. A lot of these athletes told me that, I said, hey, you're here for 2 weeks. What's it like? Well, it's great because usually you leave the race going, boy, I could have done so much better, and you leave the track, you don't see it till next year. Here they had another week to say, I'm going to beat the track this time out.
Good speed.
These are great lines. Good speed. She's up to 13th spot. She just slipped to 15th. Threw down, boy, the head was up there. 15th. So she improved over her 20th place finish from last week. Well, she's in 15th. That doesn't mean she's going to finish 15th because we have to have another run down the track. Track that is fully covered. You started sliding here a number of years ago without the roofs on the track. How much improved is it now with the roofs on the track?
Well, it's just consistent for training. You have the ability to, even if it's snowing, you know you're going to get some runs in, and it's really improved the ice conditions, which we're seeing here. Maddie coming out of turn 14. You can see that sheen on the track even after all the snow we've had. Nice run through the chicane that helped her. A pretty solid run for Maddie. No major mistakes, no major dramas. sees her easily into the field and obviously looking to improve on her time from her position from last week. And now we have a full field.
Yeah, so now we have Alina Terechnikova from Russia. She finished 21st last week, this young Russian who's going to get a good start. She's going to get a top 5 start, but like the other Russian athlete, of course her teammate's the leader right now. There's a top 4 start, 1800s off her teammate Alina Nikitina, who last week finished 5th. Today, she's got such a lead in the first run, it's very hard to find half-second leads in the sport like she's got right now.
Yeah, I'd say that one's pretty comfortable. And her teammates, 3,800s back, sitting in 3rd still after that big start.
Yeah, her nemesis is the exit of Shady. Time goes away, like your other teammate, Julia Kanakita, who's in 9th now.
110.5, so middle low road of the speed.
Yeah, 114 speed here will give her a chance to get into the field. 114.1, 67 back. She's still hanging in there. This is unbelievable compared to last week when she didn't make the cut. Here she might be in the, well, there she's went from 4th to 11th, but still. Oh, there's the big mistake. 13th place. Hey, last week didn't make the cut. This week she's solidly in. So great improvement for the young Russian.
Bumps out, I believe Leslie Stratton was on the bubble, bumps her out of the top 20 with 1 sled remaining. 2 sleds remaining, sorry. There's
Puerto Rican and the Italian.
There's a back to this piece of paper. Front and back, look at the technology. Exit turn 7, so here comes her, smacks her face on the ice a little bit. That's usually when you know you're on the good line. A little abrupt into turn 8. Down through the chicane, she almost disappears behind what I call the elbow there in the middle. It sticks out and just likes to jab you, and then this
here,
big hit.
Boy, not what you want to do on this track. It's uphill. TV doesn't do it justice. We mentioned it before. Hey, with this young Russian, big improvement from last week. 8 spots better. Now we're into a Chinese athlete, Haiyang Lin. She was 23rd last week. 22nd at the World Championships last year. And there is Willie Schneider. There's a number of Schneider sleds in the field, the former world champion from Germany in the 90s. He's been a mercenary on tour, coaching the Koreans, the Russians. Now he's settled in with the Chinese.
Lynn's got a 5.34 start time, 9th fastest start time. Willie knows a lot about this track, and we'll see how much knowledge he was able to impart on his young Chinese athlete.
Willie's old enough to slide on the track on the other side of the street.
I think Willie's old enough to slide on the 32 track.
No, not that old. But he knows about equipment, he knows about tracks, and again, former world champion, built sleds. There's probably a half dozen Schneider sleds in the field.
Pretty decent lines from the Chinese girl. Like I said, she doesn't have a ton of runs down this track.
Head down, though. Look at the head down. They're telling her 114.2's not bad, good form there, but she's steering. I mean, she's taking too much of each of the curves. That's just the inexperience. And like last week, she was 21st, and here she's 21st again.
Just misses the cut.
Yeah, she misses
1800ths of a second. Laura Dees is still hanging in there.
The Olympic bronze medalist is in 20th place with a horrific first run, but this track can do that to Olympic silver medalists. Doesn't care who you are. Persona of this track it has always been challenging.
Going through Shady 2 here. Real low line.
Too low there, yeah.
Usually that means you're going to come out and hit the right side, but look at the form. Head buried. Not even, sometimes it's better just not to look. Sometimes it's scary going head first at 70-something miles an hour. Just saying. Exit turn 14, comes out and almost completely disappears behind the elbow. Comes across and hits a second time. Just missing the cut in 21st, but
threw it down. Next up, Kelly Delco from Puerto Rico. 24th last week in this event, looking to improve.
Noticing a theme with her suit and her helmet and her saddle. I believe she likes pink. Getting that vibe.
You're probably very correct. She's from Rio Grande, Puerto Rico, now lives in, she's born in Bedford, Texas, lives in Puerto Rico. She is a former bail bondsman.
Kelly has some pretty good stories from her time doing that.
And she's a pole vaulter, college, track and field athlete.
University of North Texas.
On a Schneider sled.
109.8, so decent speed as she goes through the middle of the track. has a lot of runs down this Lake Placid track. See, exit 14, she knows how to do it. 1:15.2, so good speed. She's in 21st right now. Can she knock off Miss D's? We will see.
Needs to be perfect here in the uphill section.
20th.
And gets
19.
her in the field. Laura Deese is knocked out, which is shocking. Another shocking development, Sophie Agreeable is in 20th. That's the first time Kelly Delco has ever beat Sophie Agreeable and Laura Deese.
That'll be Kelly Delco's first cut.
Delco, excuse me.
That'll see her in the field with one sled to
Congratulations
go.
to her.
Always good to make your first cut. It took me 6 years to do it, so to do it in your second World Cup is pretty good. See Kelly here on the start ramp. She knew it was coming. You can tell she watched some people. She had the foot out. She knew it was going to kick her to the side, handled it very, very well. Turn 14. You can tell she's been down this track a couple times because she's little toe action, but the sled's pointed straight. Solid run from Kelly, and we will see her in heat number 2.
Valentina Gagolo from Italia, the former women's bobsledder.
Coached by Maurizio Olioli. I told Maurizio this morning he's got a little more gray hair than last year, and she was standing next to him. I said, "Is this your fault?" Everybody had a good laugh. At least I think that's funny. It's one of those things.
Well, you know, she's new in this skeleton sport. Exit, not bad. Starts, fourth best start. Hey, got a chance with a start time like that. She just has to learn more trips, and then some more trips. And not a bad wrong side of the straightaway there to come into curve 4. The whiteface curve used to be a whiteface curve on the old 32 track. Devil's Highway. Well, there's no Devil's Highway in the other track, but the whole track was a Devil's Highway.
Looks like she's a little bit loose. You see the legs tippy-tapping around. 108.1, so she's down on speed. She wasn't 7th. We'll see that come down to the mid-teens here at the next split.
This is pretty good. This is where she lost her time, though. 113.4. She's 15th. Now she's losing more time back. Oh, that's late. Oh, she tips the take on too early. Don't hit the wall in the uphill section, and she does. That puts her into the position. She was close. The last 150, 200 meters is it cost her position.
22nd, just misses the cut. Laura Deese gets cut. Sophie Agreeable survives. This is the last time that she was on the bubble. I never have seen it.
Well, I'm telling you, she is, you remember the pressure on her. What do you say about the Germans? They don't what?
They don't rebuild, they reload.
Yeah, well, she's going home for Christmas to the German trials, Christmas to New Year's in Altenburg. Here, a little exit, not bad there, but watch. Crossover here, feet a little unsure of herself. That's not a bad take on there.
No, but you see the feet dangling, and we heard a lot of scratching right there. You see toes are on the ground. You see, especially going uphill, I saw both toes on the ground.
This is the mistake
18.
down below.
Yep.
This is into the 19 in the uphill section. This is what's sayonara. Bang. When you do that, there's the finish line. But again, it's so steep right there. Your TV doesn't do it justice. You can see how they're coming up this finish area. It's even steeper than that on that exit of 19.
Yep. But with a big start like that, if she learns to point it straight, she could be a force to be reckoned with in the future.
Well, the young Russian, Alina Nikitina, she owns the track record at the start. She almost got to it again today, but unlike last week, she flew down the track. She's got a lead of 47 hundredths of a second, an eternity of time, but she's, you know, there's no lets in this sport. You got to do it twice. She's got a safe lead, but knowing the way she slides, she's not going to take a conservative line. She's the leader, but you know, the rest of the field, there's no victory lap coming up. Jacqueline Lolling, Mimi Ravina, Kendall Westenberg of the United States, close to a medal. Kim Marlins, she probably had the best line down the track. Any surprises there?
Jeanine Flies in 6th is a little surprising. We saw her make a couple of mistakes that are uncharacteristic of her. Surprised to see Anna Fernstedt back in 12th. I thought she would be up around the 5 or 6 mark. And then Megan Henry back in 18th. That surprised me a little bit too.
Laura Deese, the Olympic silver medalist from Pyeongchang, did not make the cut. That's how cruel this Lake Placid track can be. But hey, one more run coming up at 10:30. Join myself and Greg West for the exciting run. It looks like the Russians got it in the bag, but you never know in this sport. You never know in this track. See you in a little bit.